Picture this. Your annual fee for your credit card just posted and you think your only two options are to either pay it or cancel it. But what if I told you there's actually a third option that could pay you to keep it open? So in today's video, I'm going to expose the secret third option that the banks don't want you to know. Now, the option that the banks don't want you to know about is what's called a retention offer. Now, retention offers are simply the bank offering you either a statement credit or points to keep a card open. So for example, it could be something like spend $4,000 in 3 months to get 40,000 points or $400 off your bill. Now, you want to ask for these typically around the time your annual fee posts, and you'll see something like this on your credit card statement, which means it's time to make the call. And when you make the call, don't go in saying, oh, I'm ready to cancel the card. Instead, you want to use a script like this to be able to get their attention and get your call transferred to someone that can actually offer you something. And in my case, the Gold Card's annual fee just posted. So let's call Amex and see if they have anything for me to keep the card open.
I do have your Gold account pulling up here. Are you calling to close your Gold card today?
So I just wanted to see what my options were as far as whether to keep it or change it, or if there are any offers on my account to keep it open.
I don't have like any type of an offer.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just...
Well, that didn't really go to plan. So my next option, if I don't get a retention offer, is to consider a downgrade offer. Now, downgrading simply means you're taking the card that has the more expensive fee and turning it into something that might have a less fee or even no fee at all. Now, what your options are to downgrade depends on what card you have. Like something like the Chase Sapphire, whether it's a reserve or a preferred card, you can actually change that into a Freedom card, which has no fee. But in my case, because I have a Gold card, my only option to downgrade to is a Green card with a slightly less annual fee. Now, the benefit of downgrading a card instead of closing it is that you actually get to keep the credit history along with the credit limit that comes with the card in most cases. So if you've been paying the card on time and in full each month and you have a really big limit, that could help to dilute the rest of your usage across other cards. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier with the Sapphire cards, 9 times out of 10, it's way more worthwhile to just downgrade it to a Freedom card, which costs no fee each year, and you get to keep that credit history and credit limit. But if you're in a position like me where the only downgrade option is another fee card and you don't want to pay the fee, the last resort is to just close the card. The biggest reason to close a card is definitely when the perks and the points don't outweigh the fee that you're paying. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, if you're not earning enough points from the card and how much you're spending and using enough perks each month or each year to justify the annual fee or make more money than the annual fee, then yeah, 100% it makes no sense to keep the card. And the good news is I have a calculator for most of the popular credit cards that helps show you whether this is even the case for you. You can check them out for free at the link in the description. But another situation where it might make sense to just close the card is if your life changes. Let's say you get married and you're not traveling as much anymore. There's no reason to keep a premium lounge card if you're not flying. And another situation where it might make sense to just close the credit card is if you don't want to be locked into a specific hotel or airline. Now, before you actually close the credit card, do these things first. The first thing you should do is make sure you use as many of the benefits as you can before you make a move. That means signing up for free trials or memberships like the Amex Platinum, where you get a free clear membership each year, using that before you actually close the card. Now, the second thing you need to do before you do anything with this card is make sure you have a plan for the points. Because if you downgrade a card, just know that sometimes those points can actually disappear depending on what you do. Now, when I mentioned the Sapphire cards earlier, in that case, you can actually just move the points over from your Sapphire account to whatever Freedom account you decide to open. But in the case of Amex, if you don't have an Amex Green, Gold, or Platinum card, you won't be able to keep the points. Now, ideally, you have a use for the points, like you have a business class ticket you want to book or a hotel stay you want to book with those points. But even if you don't, just transfer it to a partner that you know you're going to stay at. Like if you know you're going to fly Delta Airlines, maybe transfer the points to Delta. Or if you're going to stay in a Marriott or a Hilton property, transfer the points there. Because once the points are out of Amex's system, it's at the mercy of the points program themselves. And in the case of Delta, for example, the points never expire. Now, in my case, I actually have the Amex Blue Business Plus credit card, which actually earns membership rewards points. So for me, this isn't an issue. And the last thing, which is the most important because the card will never be closed until you do this, make sure you pay off the balance in full before you completely write off the card. And worst come worst, you overpay while you do this, and then you just have to call the bank and get a check in the mail, and you'll be good to go. So with that all being said, here's the strategy that you need to follow the next time you're in this situation. Your first move should always be to call the number on your back of your card and ask them if they have any offers for you to keep the card open, because that's free money just waiting for you. All you have to do is ask. Now, if they don't offer you anything, the next best thing you can do is see what your downgrade paths are, whether you can downgrade the card to a no fee card or a cheaper card that might make sense for you. Now, your absolute last resort is if you can't make sense of the card, whether the credits just aren't worth it, you're not earning enough points, or you just don't like the card anymore, then consider closing it. Don't jump to closing the card first, because you're literally losing value value from that card. But whatever you do, do not underestimate the power of getting a retention offer or the downgrade paths you might have, because there's a lot more value in doing those things versus closing the card. Now, if all this seems really confusing and daunting, don't worry. I made a free tool for you in the description that walks you through what your options are based on your own situation. The tool is basically just a mirror image of what I would tell you if I was sitting right next to you. I guess for now, we'll go ahead and keep it open. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.